Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and welcome to another Path of Exile video. Today I'm going to be going over the Bladestorm ability and why it is one of the most overpowered leveling skills in my opinion. And the reason I ended up using this is because I was playing my solo self-found stream. We were playing around with different abilities, I tried it out, and I decided I was also going to level a champion on the regular Blight League, not solo self-found. I wanted to make a Cyclone character, but then I realized that Cyclone is not very good to level with. And the reason for this is it now has a base radius of 12, which is quite small, very tiny, and it only gains one radius per stage. So now rather than gaining AoE and then additional radius from your weapon range, instead it gets AoE from your weapon range at 8% per weapon range, and then one base radius per stage. Big problem with this, it starts at 12 and only gets 3 stages in the beginning, so that's only 15 base radius, which is still quite small, so even once you're fully revved up, it's not so good. And honestly, it doesn't feel very good until you get up to 6 stages, which is a total of 18 base radius, and of course a bunch of AoE and weapon range as well. Then it starts to feel pretty decent, but that isn't until gem level 16 because it gains additional stages for maximum stages as it levels. And once you hit 16, you'll get that 6 stages. It's a lot better. And of course the goal being to potentially get it to level 21 where it gets 7 stages. And yeah, the way that radius works, basically it becomes exponentially bigger as you get that up. So very nice. Scales better and better with the AoE. This is great for Cyclone at later stages, but for leveling it is hot garbage. So we are going to talk about Lacerate. I'm going to get into my Lacerate character, enjoy the rest of the footage if there is some, and I'll see you in a second. Alright, here we are with my Lacerate Champion, Angry and Exploited, and I have just reached endgame. And my weapon progression I used to reach endgame, for those curious, was Red Beak, Screaming Eagle, and I dual wielded the whole way, Dread Arc, Lakishu's Blade, and then at level 53 Prismatic Eclipse, and I'll probably use this for a little bit longer and then get some good rare swords. You can probably skip Dread Arc. It's actually not that big of an upgrade over Screaming Eagle, but you know, use your discretion. Don't go out of your way to buy Dread Arc. It's not that good for it. But yeah, the character is, I used Tabula Rasa the whole way. I happen to have a 6-link Belly of the Beast. By happen to, I mean I managed to 6-link it, so pretty happy with that. Didn't get to purchase it, just dropped it and then managed to 6-link it in like 200 fusings or so not so bad. And other than that, I just have some generic gear. I used a Carnage Heart since level 20, helps with the attributes, and then of course the Leech and the All Resist is nice as well. And then other than that, there wasn't really anything notable. I've been using a Praxis because, well, I want to use Cyclone, and I'll probably end up using this until I get a really good minus mana cost ring. We'll have to see if I can still get a good Temple ring, if that's possible. But otherwise, or of course a rare armor with minus mana cost of the skills, Socketed Gems. So we'll see how that goes, but otherwise my plan is to just use Praxis for now. My current links are Bladestorm, Impale, Fortify, Brutality, melee physical damage, and faster attacks. I actually used Onslaught instead of faster attacks for the 6th link for most of it because the movement speed helps. Once my damage started to fall off towards the end there, I switched to faster attacks because the proc rate of Bladestorm is dependent on your attack time. So basically the way we work most of the time is for packs we'll be in Sand Stance. For auras, I'm currently running Dread Banner, Precision, a low level. I believe I have it at level 2 at the moment, if I recall. Level 3 Precision, because, well, we need some mana. And then Pride, and then Flesh and Stone. So for actual clearing, I keep it in sand stance. The way this works is it will continue to move in a singular direction, so you can kind of jump, shoot this in front of you, and it'll go forward. You can use blood stance if you want, because it does substantially more damage because of the maim from Flesh and Stone, the flesh form. But it is stationary. You can kind of leave it in an area though, and things will run through it, which is great for leveling as well. And early on, if you don't have a 6 link, you may want to do that as your default, because the additional damage definitely helps. It's almost like an additional link for Flesh and Stone, so very, very, very strong. And then the skill tree, the rest of the gear doesn't matter. I'll be changing it. This is just some stuff I have. I guess a lot of it isn't so bad, but I definitely won't be using a Sundance, for instance. Might hold on to these gloves for a while. They're pretty decent, although I don't really need the accuracy. But as far as ascendancies go, started off with Master of Metal. And when we had the Impale support gem, Master of Metal, Dread Banner, and Swift Skewering, this leaves us with a total of 100% Impale chance. So once we got 100% Impale, it's pretty good to go at that point. And just left it at that. Then I grabbed the Conqueror for the taunt, and then I just recently grabbed Worthy Foe, which makes it so taunted enemies cannot evade attacks. That means we no longer need to stack accuracy. We have 100% accuracy anyway from some of the sword nodes that give accuracy. Like this one gives a base 200 accuracy, and we get some accuracy from like Art of the Gladiator and this attack speed node as well. So, while not necessarily necessary, yeah, we no longer need precision. We're currently just using it for some crit chance, because our crit chance is quite low until we get a better sword at the moment. Getting at a 13.85%, so not very good. Gonna get a diamond flask, although at that low of a percent, that's not even gonna help that much. So we'll see what we can do to get that buffered up a little bit. I need to take this jewel slot soon, but I didn't really have any jewels to put in it just yet, but I'll buy one shortly. I have one more skill point. I'm just going to grab Disemboweling first, but basically the way we went, I like going through attack speed. I feel like it's a lot more smooth for leveling to have higher attack speed as compared to the melee physical damage. Then grabbed Art of the Gladiator, swung over to Master of the Arena, and then I ended up going over straight away towards the towards this area, the Marauder area, up to Born to Fight. And then I grabbed Dervish once I got to that point, swung down here, started grabbing these Brinkmanship, swung back over, grabbed Golem's Blood. Then I got Swift Skewering, because that was around the time I got my first Ascendancy. Came over here, grabbed some life. I did end up getting Unwavering Stance and Iron Reflexes, although I might get rid of Unwavering Stance because I believe you cannot be stunned while you're cycloning anyway. But I like having the armor. It's pretty nice. Estimated physical damage reduction 58%. So because we have Soul of Steel and just quite high armor in general, and we plan on getting first to strike, first to fall, probably. Although we could also get Unstoppable Hero, which would give us another 2,000 base armor because you get 1,000 armor and evasion while you have Fortify. And with all the increased armor that we do have, that would give us well more than 2,000, probably put us close to 10,000 base armor, which is really, really nice. And some gear upgrades as well will probably bring us up our armor, because I don't plan on using this helmet for very long. It's just something I happen to have. But yeah, I grabbed the Leech fairly early on as well. Then I started grabbing some of the sword nodes like Blade Dancer and Blade Master. Came up here, grabbed Barbarism. Considered going over here to grab Diamond Skin, but instead grabbed Soul of Steel because you still get 10% all resist, and I needed the resistances. And lastly, I picked up like Strong Arm and some of the Iron Reflexes and Unwavering Stance, and then I started getting crit. So I got this crit down here, Blade of Cunning, got Dismembering, gonna go up and grab Disemboweling, And my anointment, my amulet anointment that I currently plan is going to be a Fatal Blade, which is a very, very, very powerful node. So chances aren't good that I'm going to make it all the way over here, although I may go as far over as Twin Terrors, just because I want to spend a lot of points on life and some jewel slots, and probably maybe some frenzy charges as well. So that's pretty much my plan for the build. That's where I stand. The big reason I'm making this build in general is because I plan on doing a comparison. I have a Berserker, I have a Slayer, and now I have a Champion, all in endgame with Cyclone. I want to compare the three, and I'll be doing that for my next video, hopefully this weekend. So watch out for that. I hope you enjoyed the content. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye!